Good morning everyone, and here's the video that you were all waiting for, the latest weather update from Sri Lanka. So you know firstly where I am, looking at the scenery behind me. Good morning to KD Rajput also, who joins us. He's the first one to join us on the chat. So it's nice. It's at the moment in Kandy, opened up the sky, and you could see a bit brightness. You can occasionally see the sun also. So it's right now dry in Kandy, though I must tell you it is 9 o'clock here at this time. It's also 9 o'clock India time, around 8:30 Pakistan time. So it is dry now, but the morning at about 7 o'clock till about 8 it was raining here. But right now it's nice and bright with an occasional cloud cover, but mostly it seems like it's nice and bright. So that's good news. But I am sure you would want to know the weather of Palakele, which I keep telling you again and again is right behind those hills that you see. That's where Palakele is. It's in the central district of Sri Lanka, and like Kandy is a hill station, Palakele is in the plain. So you go down the hills, and that's where Palakele. So let me quickly, without any further ado, give you the latest update of Palakele, not Kandy. Kandy, as I keep telling you, gets far more rain than Palakele. So in that sense, you are going to get, the Kandy weather will be slightly different to the Palakele weather. So let me update you about the weather in Palakele and what it's expected to be. So it is expected to rain around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, an hour before the match, but slight drizzle, which may mean that the teams that come down to the ground to practice, they do their warm-ups about hour and a half before the game is to start. That might get disrupted a bit, but it's a passing shower, so that should be done with very soon. 3 o'clock when the game starts, I think the game will start on time. Just as you saw with India versus Pakistan, the game started on time. Expect this game also, India versus Nepal, to start on time based on the weather update that we have gotten. Then there is going to be a passing shower once again, much like you saw in the India versus Pakistan game. You saw a slight delay, but you saw 2 interruptions in India's innings. This time it's expected to be only 1 interruption in the first innings. So the match starts on time, toss happens on time, 3 o'clock hopefully the first ball will be bowled. There will be 1 interruption in the first innings, that's all, about 4 o'clock. So 1 interruption in the first inning. As things stand right now, the second innings, there isn't much rain expected in the second innings. That's what happened last time. Rain was expected, if you remember in that video I told you, around 9:30 or so, and that's around the time that the rain came down. Again, I'm telling you, in Palakele last time also, India versus Pakistan match, it wasn't heavy rain. You get heavy rain here in Colombo, in Kandy, and of course in Colombo, but Palakele you just get slight drizzle. And in fact, it was a slight drizzle in the India versus Pakistan game too. We were there at the ground. At no point did you get heavy rain. Many players that I spoke to, former players, a lot of them were of the opinion during the India-Pakistan game that at the time that they decided to stop the game just ahead of the second innings, maybe they shouldn't have, maybe they could have continued, because there was a drizzle, but it was a slight drizzle, and that drizzle would come and it would go. Many players told me that in a place like England, where such drizzles are just common sight, game continues. You really don't stop cricket in that slight drizzle. But that wasn't to be the case in Palakele, and for some reason it was decided that the game should not go ahead. So that is how it happened in the India-Pakistan game. Rain was expected late at night, and it did come late at night. But today, as I said, what the weather forecast is telling us for Palakele, that there will be toss, there's a rain passing shower at around 2 o'clock, which will just hamper practice, not the start and toss should happen on time. Game starts at 3 o'clock. Then there will be a passing shower, 1 passing shower during the first innings. Unlike India-Pakistan, where there were 2 passing showers and you had to stop the game twice, here it's only expected to be once. Then you're expected to have the second innings uninterrupted. Unlike last time in the India-Pakistan game, you might have a full second inning uninterrupted. Rain is expected late at night at around 11 o'clock. So if that was to happen, I think 11 o'clock would be almost the end of the second innings. So end of the second inning, rain might interrupt play. I don't know whether it will be 40 overs by then or something like that, maybe even more. So you will definitely, I feel, this time get an official match and a result as such. But most likely then, if the rain does come that late at night, it will be decided on Duckworth Lewis. But much better forecast today than it was for the India versus Pakistan game. If you remember India versus Pakistan game, Kandy was raining heavily throughout the day. Palakele saw drizzle. Today you see nice bright sunshine behind me in Kandy. So that's just an indication that you are going to see an official game here. Okay, meanwhile, a lot of you asked a question about Jasprit Bumrah. Yes, he did take the flight day before, not yesterday, day before, after the India-Pakistan game. He's headed back home to India, where, we are told he's gone for personal reasons, but what I've reliably learnt is that, he's gone for the birth of his first child. So he's, anytime now, his wife is expecting for some time now. We knew that during the IPL because she's a television presenter. We got to know that. So it's a great occasion for any father, and anyone would want to be there, which is why he's been allowed that leave by the BCCI to go make a quick dash back home. But what we are again told is that he will be then available from the Super 4 stages onward, because there's a big gap now after the Nepal game. India's next game, that is of course on the 10th. The Super 4 stage starts on the 9th, and 10th is India's first game, India versus Pakistan. That brings me to an important point that was due in Colombo, but now as things stand at the moment, there's a very good chance of the venue being shifted from Colombo to right here in Palakele. I know a lot of venues are doing the rounds in terms of where it will go, and that's why you haven't heard an official announcement, because right now the organizers are scampering for a venue where they can have those matches without any rain interruptions. Just to let you know, Colombo has been inundated with water. Heavy rain in Colombo. Lots of areas in Colombo are flooded. And lot more rain is expected in the coming weeks, which is why there is a decision almost certain that they're going to move it out of Colombo. Now, where the games happen, that I think is not firmly established at the moment, but if you ask me, I think Palakele seems to be most likely the venue where all those matches will happen. Remember, there are a total of 6 matches that were to be played in Colombo, 5 of the Super 4 stage, the final being the 6th. So those 5 of the Super 4 stage certainly could be looked at playing here in Palakele. You could even shift the final here, but depending on the weather in Colombo, but maybe you can wait a bit more because you would want to have the final in Colombo. A lot of people would be flying in from India and various other parts of the world, depending on which team makes the final, and they'd want to see. And you can also, the grounds are bigger, so you can really accommodate a lot more fans. So which is why final you'd want to do at Colombo, but depending on the whether that decision can be taken a little later. For now, you'll have to look at the Super 4 stage, and that is why Super 4 matches, those 5 games that are supposed to be played, you'd have to move them outside of Colombo. Palakele, as I said, seems to be the most likely venue. I'll tell you why. Dambula, a lot of people are talking about, but Dambula, there are issues with the floodlights. Those issues have been there for some time now, and I don't think those issues have yet been fixed. So that then kind of rules Dambula out as well. Hambantota, because Dambula is a dry area of Sri Lanka, it doesn't get any rain, so maybe that was a venue that could have been looked at. But as I said, there are problems with the floodlights, so maybe Dambula, unless they can fix it last moment, I don't know. But at the moment, it seems unlike it goes to Dambula. Hambantota is another place that was being looked at, being spoken about. But the problem with Hambantota is it's on the edge of a jungle, and there are hardly any. I've been there. There are hardly any hotels or various other accommodation available, because remember, if matches are to shift there, there's a massive amount of crew that goes, the broadcasting crew, the commentators, a lot of journalists will travel. Also remember, a lot of fans will travel. All of that, if you keep in mind, Hambantota also becomes very unlikely. I think the most likely place where you can do is Palakele, and I keep repeating myself that, you know, you will say the India-Pakistan game got washed out. Yes, it might rain in Palakele, but the amount of rain that happens in Palakele is going to be far, far, far less than what you get in Colombo or even in Kandy. Much less. Also, it doesn't rain heavily in Palakele. Yesterday, again, I was there when the Nepal team was practicing. They practiced indoor, but that's because there were precautionary steps that the ground staff had taken. So they had put covers on the practice pitches, also in the center ground, for precaution. There wasn't rain at all. There was just a little bit of drizzle that came for about 10-15 minutes. I was there for a good 3-4 hours at the ground yesterday. About 10-15 minutes drizzle you got at Palakele yesterday. So it's been a similar case. I've been going to Palakele last 4-5 days. Most of the time you only get a drizzle. It's a steady drizzle, but you get it for some time and then it vanishes. Never heavy rain. That I saw in Colombo when I landed, and which I've been seeing on the news here, raining a lot in Colombo. And what I see in Kandy also, here where I'm staying in Kandy, also keeps raining most of the time. So Palakele comparatively is much better. There are chances of some games at least happening. Colombo, there are zero chances, which is why this decision is going to be taken. So as and when you know, we get more updates once I reach the ground in terms of weather, I'll update you. But the weather prediction on the websites and the apps I've just given you for Palakele. As for the Nepal team, you know, a lot of the players, I mean, the interesting bit is Indian captain is Rohit, the captain of Nepal is also Rohit. The one star bowler to watch out for is Sandeep Lamichhane. You know, he plays in the IPL. I've done an exclusive interview with him that's up on Sports Today, so do check that out as well. But the Nepal captain had a press conference yesterday. They were very humble and they were very realistic about their chances. They knew they were up against a very big team. And he said that yes, it's going to be a fanboy moment for a lot of us because you're playing against such established names. But he said that fanboy moment will ensure can happen after the game, not before or not during. When it is game, then they're going to be playing just as you play any other opponent and give their best effort. That's what the Nepalese team captain said. So, but of course, they are very excited. They want to really work on, you know, ensuring that they're not overawed by the occasion, that they come and do their basics, things that they've been doing in practicing, just implement that and do that against the Indian players as well. So, this is something that they had mentioned. Also, you know, the captain did mention that they've now, with so much of video available, they've looked at footages of, you know, big players, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, all of them, and tried to work out some plan against them, and are hoping that some of their plans they'll be able to execute when the game happens. It's a big occasion for the Nepalese team as well, if you know, because, you know, playing against a top team, so many people will be watching, and that's actually the best platform to give your performance, and a lot of players understand that. They understand that, you know, whatever you do in other matches is all right, but when you do it against India, when a lot more many people are watching, then those performances are remembered for very long, and that in itself serves as a motivation for a lot of players. So it's going to be an interesting game. One change India will have to make, I mentioned Jasprit Bumrah flown back home, so most likely you'll see Mohammad Shami come into the squad. I don't think any more changes you'll get to see. So that's it for the update, weather update for now. Mr. Fact, good morning to you as well. Will they promote Shreyas Iyer? I don't think so. They'll bat him at 4. No, not much changes in the batting order you're going to see. So next I'll see you guys. Give us a like if you enjoyed this video, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today. Athens, thank you so much. Hello to you as well. And next update that I'll bring to you will be from the Palakele Stadium. So Tanmoy, okay, we will do something about the Book My Show ticket fiasco. We shall do something. Okay. Good morning, Rakesh. Amish Sherchan, love from Nepal. Love back to you. Yeah, I hope your team does very well today. Yes, Amrit Newpan, I am guessing you're also from Nepal. Is the sun shining now? Yes, it is. It is. Saroj, check out the video. I've done the weather update. Nishan Khadka is saying He's sending love from Nepal. Love back to you as well. Amritesh from Newpan is from Nepal. David, I've given the weather. Random is saying 8 baje se barish hai. Yaar, I checked on the weather app, so which told me that rain is much later. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. Different apps, different websites you check, it'll give you completely different update. Prajwal, love to you as well, yeah. So many people from Nepal joining us. Lovely to see. Do check out the interview with Lamichane that I've done. I tried to speak a bit of Nepali as well. So all my Nepali I tried to use. Little bit that I know. Okay, guys. See you. Bye bye. Next update from the ground.